Hello, I'm Francisco Girela, Lead Technologies at 7 Solutions America, and today I will present Wall Street Clock. So time synchronization is at the core of electronic trading networks. It is used for latency measurements to optimize how fast the different actors trade, and also to improve the network visibility of what's happening in their network, both of the market data that they are receiving and the market data that they are generating. It is also used to improve the quality of the data that they are capturing in their networks, so they can improve the precision of the different time stamping that they are performing in one location or multiple locations. And with that improved data, what they do is to improve also their distributed strategies. So they can correlate all the information that they are retrieving from different locations all around the world to improve the way they trade. At the same time, the participants in the trading sector need to keep a book of all the trading that they are performing, because they are forced by regulations, and they require to have resiliency. So any kind of disruption on their network, or their time servers, or their time synchronization devices doesn't affect the trading, because stopping the trading will mean losing money. In that sense, finance actors propagate time, a notion of time, between all the different devices that they have in their network, and they do that maintaining a traceability to an official time reference, so they can actually use that information to report to the authorities, and that way they fulfill the regulations. In order to do so, they use both generation and distribution of timing. Generation will be the way to retrieve a notion of time using, for example, GNSS receivers, so they can have an official time source or an official notion of time that they can compare their own trading to. And at the same time, they will also keep atomic clocks to have a backup in case of that GNSS receivers are not working properly anymore. And they will also have this distribution part, where they take that notion of time from the time servers and propagate it to all the different time servers, all the different servers, NIC cards or switches that they use for the regular data management, or the data traffic, which is basically the market data. And for that, depending on the level of accuracy, they use NTP for servers, PTP for NIC cards and switches, White Rabbit if they want to go for the sub-nanosecond level, which is important in some case of ultra-low latency, or PPS distribution. So in the trading market, we can find different actors. The first actors will be the investors, and these are the people that are trading, buying or selling different financial stocks and making profit from that. These people are the ones that set the price for the different financial products, and what they need is to execute these orders very quickly, because if they are able to execute the order faster, they can get better prices when trading, and better margins. The market makers are the people that provide liquidity to the market, so they have a stock of financial products that they are always open to sell or buy. So, and this way, if you want to buy a certain stock, you know that you will always be able to reach the market. Their need in this case is to limit their exposure and their risk, because they have that variety of different products that may change their price suddenly. Lastly, we have the stock exchanges, or the exchanges, because we can also add the cryptocurrencies exchanges right now. And they are the people that match all the buy and sell orders from the different participants, or the different actors in the finance sector. Their need here is to provide a deterministic service to the participants that are co-located to their venue. So none of them gets a benefit in comparison to the others. A typical stock exchange network will have these four parts. First one will be the participant side. These are the people co-located to the stock exchange to reduce the latency. Then they will have the access network receiving all the information from the participants and taking it to the core, to the matching engine, where they meet or they perform the trading between the buy and the sell orders. After making that trading, they will propagate that information back to the participants, which is the market data, and for that they will use the market data network. In terms of time synchronization, in a stock exchange, we'll have this generation part where they will be using a GNSS receiver, an atomic clock for a backup, or even in some cases a feed from a official time provider, like for example a National Metrology Institute or a certified company, and from there they will distribute that time to their access and market data networks to be able to capture when all the different information from the participants or to the participants is going through their network. In the participant side, they will synchronize to the stock exchange, if that is a possibility, using a typical time as a service, or they will also use an external time as a service from a third company or a National Metrology Institute or a GNSS receiver if they are not able to get any kind of alternative to synchronize or to get a notion of time. From that time server, they will also distribute that time information to the switches, NIC cards, and servers, and they will start capturing all the market data that they have and measure latencies not only on their side of the network but also on the stock exchange side of the network. But this happens not only in one stock exchange but in multiple stock exchanges or even between different financial institutions in both metro areas or even worldwide, where they will have these fiber links and microwave links deployed. Time synchronization in trading is very important because right now, at this moment, the typical reaction time from a participant when they receive market data is in the order of 20 nanoseconds. So imagine that if you have uncertainty of 5 nanoseconds when measuring the latency, that means that you will have this 50% uncertainty in the measurement. And that will be hard or not a very good value if you are trying to improve your network latency. At the same time, that information is used to improve the quality of the data that you are capturing in one location and in multiple locations. And with that data set, what you do is to train your artificial intelligence. And the artificial intelligence is the one responsible of executing all the automatic trading in the network right now. So the best that you teach your artificial intelligence, the best that your artificial intelligence will trade, and the most of the profit that you will make. Finally, it is important to fulfill the regulations, and even when they are not very strict in terms of accuracy, they could mean that you can get fined if you are not meeting what they are asking for. In that sense, resiliency is important because you need to keep a track of all the trading that you are performing, and being unable to keep track of the trading will mean that you will need to stop trading, and that means losing money. For that, it's important to avoid GNSS dependency because of the jamming, spoofing, or interferences that you can suffer. It's important to avoid having just one single time source. With the signal flow, I mean, if you only have one clock, you are never sure if the time that you are getting is the correct one. At least you need a couple of them in order to compare. And what you need to seek is redundancy in the network and the time sources, traceability, so you can compare that to an official time, and taking advantage of the time synchronization to actually get profits from a latency improvement or from better that market data quality. Here, what we typically work when we are in the time synchronization for finance is the White Rabbit technology, which is an implementation of a standard PTP, which main goal is to achieve sub-nanosecond accuracy, and that fulfills the level of measurement that the customers or the actors in finance need to measure latency. It's integrable in Ethernet networks, interoperable with NTP, PTP, and PPS that are also used in trading. It's resilient to GNSS disruption because we are just distributing the time reference using fiber. It avoids calibration in local area scenarios, which is quite important. It's a plug-and-play technology that achieves this nanosecond accuracy and can also scale to metro areas or even intermetro areas with thousands of nodes. And lastly, White Rabbit, and it's worth mentioning that, is the high accuracy profile in the latest revision of PTP version 2.1. So in order to comply with the requirements of the finance sector, the White Rabbit hardware needs to meet at least 3 characteristics. The first one is interoperability with the previous time synchronization technologies that they are using, PTP, NTP, PPS distribution. The second one is failover mechanisms to ensure resiliency, so having multiple time sources coming to the same device and being able to switch between all of them or to an internal failover. And the third one will be having or providing traceability to the official notion of time that they need to report all the trading to the authorities. At the same time, having only White Rabbit hardware is a limitation because that means that you will need to have a last hop where you use NTP, PTP, or PPS, and that might degrade the time accuracy that you are able to provide. For that reason, having software solutions that you can integrate in the actual network equipment that they use for the data management, NIC cards or layer 1 switches, is important. And that needs to be done without having or relying on expensive oscillators or clocks and without affecting the latency of the data path. And use case will be there is one in the Spanish stock market where we synchronize it to different data centers using a 27 miles link, and we provided redundancy with a failover clock that ensures 1 microsecond after 24 hours, and also traceability using a calibrated GNSS White Rabbit device that was calibrated by a national metrology institute. Here you can find additional resources, 3 different use cases in the finance sector, and some others in other different segments. Please feel free to contact us if you have any doubts. And thank you for your attention. Bye.